Hi everyone, my name is Evie Calvillo and I am glad you're able to join us. I am UFCW 324. I work at Fruitfulness in Santa Ana, California.
Hi, I'm Joyce Robertson. I work at Rite Aid in Port Hueneme, California. Thank you for joining us today.
Welcome. I am Eduardo, and I work in the grocery department at King Soopers in Denver.
And I'm Will Peterson, Fred Meyer cashier in Everett, Washington. Solidarity now, solidarity forever.
Thanks, Ebby, Joyce, Eduardo, and Will for welcoming everyone. It is so powerful to have members of UFCW from across the West Coast coming together to make our workplaces better and safer. Thank you to all our members out there for their work for decades, and in particular over these many months with the coronavirus pandemic. But workers don't just want thanks or to be called essential or heroes. We want to be treated with respect and get fair pay for hard work. We want to have a voice at work so we can have better control over our safety. And that's part of what having a union is all about. That's why we're here today and what we're going to talk about, making our workplaces safer and getting the fair pay and respect that you all deserve. And we can achieve that better when we work together. We're going to hear from presidents and members from 4 of the largest UFCWs in the Western US, UFCW 7 from Colorado and Wyoming, UFCW 21 from Washington, UFCWs 324 and 770 from Southern California. This is really a historic event, and altogether we represent over 120,000 grocery store workers, and we're coming together tonight to say enough is enough and take a stand for fair pay and safety. So just a few logistics. This show is going to be about 30 minutes total, and we will have a comment action at the end. So throughout the show, we'll want this to be interactive. So please post your comments, and we're going to post as many comments up as we can so people can see what everyone's saying. So look right down here, you can see Monica is talking about risking your lives and family every day and that you should get the $2 premium. I agree, Monica. I'm sure a lot of your coworkers agree, and keep those comments coming in because I think this will be a lot more fun if it's really interactive. So thank you all for joining us. If for some reason you get disconnected or your connection's slow, you can either refresh your page or go to your local union's webpage so you can reload. So let's just go ahead and get started. And at first, to kick us off, let's go to UFCW 7 in Colorado and Wyoming, President Kim Cordova.
Good evening. I'm Kim Cordova, President of UFCW Local 7. I proudly represent more than 21,000 essential heroes in grocery stores across Colorado and Wyoming. Every day, tens of thousands of you risk your health and safety while you go to work to keep our communities fed. During the first 100 days of this global pandemic, over 11,500 grocery workers from UFCW were infected with COVID-19, and at least 82 of those workers died. 3 of these essential members were from Local 7, Karen Haas, James McKay, and Randy Narvaez. Yet through all the pain in these uncertain times, you have never stopped working. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, rather than support the workers who make huge profits possible, these big corporations have ripped away your hazard pay, treating you as disposable while deeming you essential. The fact is, COVID-19 has not gone away, and neither should your hazard pay. In the first 100 days, big grocers called you all heroes, thanking you on billboards and in commercials. But later, you went from a hero to a zero, even though you continue to take risks every day that you clock in. You're risking your lives every day. Yet the companies don't respect your contributions and sacrifice. Big grocers only care about big profits, and there's no reason to have stopped this hazard pay in the first place. UFCW will continue to demand hazard pay be reinstated by these big grocers. I want to thank you for your contributions and your sacrifice. And as a proud member of UFCW, I want to say that I'm very proud of all of you and everything that you do. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Kim. And, you know, the question I'm seeing in the comments over and over again is, when are we going to get hazard pay back? And I think this is really a historic moment, and workers coming together have the power that we don't alone. So we want to share a video that UFCW Local 324 members at Food for Less made this year to celebrate International Workers' Day and call for safety that we need during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Estamos orgullosos de pertenecer a la Unión 324.
A pesar de toda esta pandemia que está pasando, seguimos adelante trabajando.
Es bien importante que nuestra compañía, la compañía Kroger, nos proteja, dándonos todo lo que es necesario el cubrebocas, guantes, limpieza de la tienda que se haga a diario, que nos den la oportunidad de lavarnos las manos cada 30 minutos. Eso es muy importante para nuestra salud y para la salud de la comunidad.
Si sea posible que también todos los clientes entren con las máscaras para proteger a ellos, nosotros y a nuestra familia.
Primero Dios, vamos a seguir adelante, vamos a salir adelante de todo esto.
¡Que viva el trabajador!
¡Que viva!
Thanks so much for that awesome video. Yeah, I think I'm seeing lots of folks in the comments too who are from CVS pharmacies, who are from Kaiser. So, we have lots of essential workers, and I think we can all agree that it's a foremost responsibility of our employers to keep our workplaces safe, but they're failing at that responsibility. And it's part of us all together in the union to help force them to keep these workplaces as safe as possible. So now I'd like to hear from Joyce Robertson, a member of UFCW 770.
Sure is better to be employed at a union workplace on a normal day, and these days are not normal. Like when an employee at Amazon-owned Whole Foods, which is anti-union, was disciplined for wearing a Black Lives Matter mask. That employee does not have the same protections that we do as union members. And I am so proud that our union, UFCW, stood with those workers to help spotlight that unfair treatment. All workers who want to have a union at work should have the right to a union without interference or harassment from the employer. That is one of our grocery store workers' Bill of Rights. And when more workers have a voice at work, it helps us pass and enforce better contracts, get better benefits, and improve workplace safety.
Thanks so much, Joyce. I think I'm seeing in the comments lots of ideas around safety, folks talking about limited line entry. I think that's a big part of it. Mask wearing, enforcement of the mask wearing is something that I know every state and every local is dealing with. I'd like to now hear from the president of Joyce's union, UFCW 770, John Grant. Hi, John.
And this COVID. Yeah, I'm John Grant, president of Local 770 in Southern California. Yes, this virus is invisible and deadly. As the numbers grow higher and higher and higher, more and more and more folk are getting sick. We must stand together and fight for what we need to be able to survive this. Look, we fought for the masks. We fought for the safety protocols. We fought for the personal protective equipment. We fought for government enforcement because the company would not. This pandemic is not over. Their special money-making status is not over, and therefore our protections should not end either. This was a natural disaster, but through the employer's greed, it's become a man-made catastrophe. And we know who those men are. They are forcing you to bear disease and death while they receive a governmentally endowed privilege to garner scandalously high profits. Through their addiction to higher and higher sales, our stores have become breeding grounds for this virus, which has ravaged our communities. Every step of the way, we must fight to ensure that essential workers are healthy and the employers are abiding by the appropriate public health measures. There are two things we will allow these companies to take. They can take this pandemic seriously, and they can take responsibility for what happens in the workplace. Look, we know that those who are closest to the problem are best situated to assess and provide solutions to that problem. You know the risks. You know the remedies. You see what's happening. You see what's not happening. Your vision, your voice, your presence must be part of the safety protocol. Worker-led, worker-based public health councils, health and safety committees can do just that. We know that these companies are unable to police themselves. Throughout the U.S., communities, health and safety activists, and unions are launching the drive for these councils. We must expand them everywhere. You know the operations of your store. You know how to make it safe. With public health councils based in our workplaces, we can do just that. This is our life. This should be our right. Thank you.
Hi there. Yeah, thanks, John. I'd like to go to Greg Smith from Ralph's in Costa Mesa, California, who's a member of UFCW 324.
Hello, my name is Greg. I'm an essential worker, and I just want to make it clear that masks are important, and they're essential to keeping each other healthy. Not only the workers, but the community as a whole. Who would have thought that, you know, something like this would be happening and we'd be talking about this today? But it's true. It's happening right now. The company needs to do more. Right now they're following, and they need to lead. Crowd control is a big issue, and people are coming through the doors. There is no crowd control. And keeping the store clean and sanitized, I have yet to see that. It's just common sense, you know. It's easy. Wearing a mask, keeping the store clean. Customers, they need to wear masks as well, you know. I mean, it's a big issue. I mean, you can't come. I work 8 hours a day, and sometimes more, and to see somebody walking through the door and not using the same precautions as I am, and I'm being mandated to wear one, it just doesn't make sense. So we need to push the companies to stay on that topic of making it mandatory to wear masks in the store. We need to also push and provide testing for all essential workers. And we just need to stand together for a safe and clean workplace. I stand by the rights for that, and let's make it a Bill of Rights. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Greg, for sharing your experience. I mean, I think I totally agree with Greg that it's just common sense. People should be wearing masks. There needs to be proper cleaning, proper time to clean, proper equipment, proper training on the chemicals that you all are being asked to use to clean. It is just common sense. And the fact that we don't have that shows that the employers just aren't taking this seriously enough. And, you know, we've fought and we've won a lot, but we need to keep fighting and we need to win more. So next up, I'd like to hear from Will Peterson of UFCW 21, someone I know well, from Everett, Washington, a shop steward and member of our executive board. Go ahead, Will.
Hello. This unquestionably is a time of unrest and uncertainty. Continued concerns about the devastating impact of the pandemic have put union members, their families, friends, and communities on edge. Meanwhile, employers have regularly caused workers to be fearful about their safety, their security, and their future, which makes a troubling situation that much worse. I guess the point is that there's a lot of fear out there. But I can tell you this, the employer wins when we let that fear dominate us. Last year when we were bargaining, they wanted us to be divided, but we came together, united, and won a historic contract. We came together and pushed back on the takeaways that the employers were trying to force on us. And we won larger wage increases, protected our health plans, and our pensions. We also won other advantages and advances. One of the reasons we had that success is that we came together across many UFCW local unions. And, you know, I'm glad we're having this rally today as another way to reach out to more of our grocery store members across the West and say, Let's stand together, united for fair pay and safety. Thank you.
Thanks, Will. Yeah, that was a big contract fight that we were all in together. We spent a lot of late nights in a conference room together last year, and thousands of members in the western part of the U.S. Were doing the same, and we took actions across all of our unions. I was really proud to stand side by side and work with Will on that contract and throughout that struggle. So let's see what members who are watching this are saying right now. I'd love to see more comment. Lots of folks sharing stories about masks and enforcement at the door. So if you want to share something and interact with your fellow members, feel free to post in the comments on Facebook and YouTube, and we'll keep those coming up here. Thank you, Derek. And we'll just keep the comments playing throughout. So next, I'd like to introduce UFCW 21 President, Faye Guenther. Take it away, Faye.
Thank you all so much for being here tonight. This is really a historic moment for us to all come together up and down the West Coast, and I am so excited that we are doing this. I feel like collective power is the power we have to really make sure that we get the hazard pay we deserve, we get safer workplaces that we deserve, we make sure we protect our pensions and our health care. Every time we go to the bargaining table or bargain over any issue, whether it's hazard pay or COVID issues at work, we're dealing with employers that have a national strategy. They have a strategy about what wages they're going to give region by region or state by state, and what they're going to do with the pension or how they're going to handle health care. And we have to have the patience and do the hard work of building solidarity between all of the unions and have a national strategy and really sit down and think through, what do we all want as a union, as one union for all of the workers that we represent. That's what builds power. And we know that when we stand together, it works. We saw that in May when Kroger was trying to take away hazard pay. All of the unions came together and took action together. And even though we didn't maintain the hazard pay at the same rate, we ended up getting bonuses, it wasn't taken away. And so now, once again, we all need to come together and fight to try to win back hazard pay and also prepare for the next round of negotiations. And it's really, really uplifting to have us come together during a time when we're in the middle of many pandemics, a pandemic that's taken 140,000 lives, that being COVID, a racial equity pandemic where people have really been mistreated in our country for a long period of time, and an economic pandemic. So, I'm excited about this rally, this model that we're using tonight, this platform we're using. We hope that people enjoy it, and if they do, we'll try to do it again. And we are going to do everything we can to fight every single day to try to make every workplace better for members all across the country. So thank you, and have a good night.
Thanks, Faye, and thanks to all the members who are taking action together. I see in a lot of the comments, people are like, what are we going to do to get this hazard pay back, to make these workplaces safer? We're getting to that. We're going to talk about actions. First, I'd like to see some of the actions we took together this year, because you all, the workers have been stepping up big time to demand fair pay and safety at work in 2020. So let's see some of those actions. So you all know it's a really big deal to take these actions, to push our employers to do things that they don't want to do, especially when it comes to putting dollars in your pockets and workers' pockets and limiting customer counts, adding safety protocols. They want to do the bare minimum. So these actions really push them. And these actions we've done so far are just the beginning. I know folks are ready for more actions, and we have a lot more to do. So we hope that you'll join us. I see all these comments here. People are ready to step up. I know you are. So let's hear from President Andrea Zinder of Local 324 in Southern California.
Hi, I'm Andrea Zinder, President of Local 324. Grocery and drugstore workers have always been leaders in our communities. You serve the public in natural disasters and states of emergency, while others shelter in place. You have fought for higher minimum wages and additional sick leave for working people throughout our states, setting an example for the entire country. But you have gone unrecognized for too long, and every day you face new obstacles. This has never been more apparent than in the last several months. Minimum wage rates only provide a floor for workers and do not take into account the risk you take every day. State-mandated sick leave helps, but it is not enough during a pandemic or other state of emergencies when workers must be able to take time off without fear of reduced earnings. Working people should never have to face a choice between the possibility of infecting coworkers and customers or receiving a paycheck. You deserve to care for yourselves and families without worrying about your jobs and benefits. Additional paid time off helps protect not only you, but all your coworkers and the community. Our local unions working together were able to secure additional paid time off and hazard pay in the early days of the pandemic. But these need to be more than temporary measures. As the pandemic rages out of control, the hazard of working increases, and the stress and fear you live with every day grows. For the foreseeable future, it's the pandemic. But next it will be a different natural disaster, civil unrest, or other state of emergency. By participating today, you have taken the first step to show the corporate giants that you work for that we are strong and united. From California to Washington to Colorado, we become a force that cannot be ignored. The corporations you work for are profitable because of you. Without you, they cannot exist. This is power. This is strength. Our first step is to establish the Essential Workers Bill of Rights, a platform that together we fight for, one that recognizes the value of essential workers and is achievable when we work together. After we read through these, we want you to submit your thoughts and suggestions on this initial draft. Once it is finalized, we will use it to increase our power in bargaining, as well as a way to connect with the customers that support you. Please share your comments on your local union's Facebook page so that together we can establish the principles that all members can support and fight for. Thank you for participating, and most of all, thank you for all you do every day. It's time to demand your share.
Thanks for being a part of this event for worker rights. As a grocery store worker, we need to stand up and together take action for ourselves, our workplace, our communities, and our families. We have been referring to this grocery store worker bill of rights. We have worked on many of these issues for years, and some we won in some places. This is also something we want you to support on. We want to add your name to this, please. Sign up at your local union. Our workers are part of a system that feeds our communities. We help ensure our food supply is safe, healthy, and sustainable, but it's becoming more difficult to make ends meet. Our jobs are becoming more and more part-time, with unpredictable hours, schedules, reduced hours, and low wages. We have break our backs working. Meanwhile, big corporate grocery chain CEOs like Rodney McMillan are paid millions. By acting and speaking together, we are powerful enough to reclaim the belief that in America, if you work hard and play by the rules, you should have an opportunity to get ahead. Supporting grocery store workers means standing for our fairness and demanding a simple Bill of Rights.
Thank you so much, Eduardo and Andrea. That was awesome. And I think, this is such an important moment. We have members from 4 UFCW locals across several states here tonight. So if we just think about that for a minute, can you imagine how much that, to be honest, scares the crap out of our employers to see unions across the West banding together for one action? This is very exciting. And this Essential Workers Bill of Rights we've been talking about is available at your UFCW local's website. So you can sign on today. So in a few minutes, we're going to post that information on the website addresses on the screen so you can sign on. So let's take a couple minutes now to hear the full Bill of Rights that UFCW members have drafted and that you can sign on to as a founding document, affirming our rights and kicking off the next steps of our actions right now.
My name is Susan Hernandez. I am a scan coordinator at Food for Less in Los Angeles. Thank you for joining us today. Article 1, right to better wages. As you all know, right to better wages is something that is very, very important, not just for myself, but for everyone that works in the retail business. The right to better wages provides every one of us the right to provide the necessities, the food, the clothing, to pay our rent, our bills, and even the extracurricular activities we'd like to do with our children, our family, mother and father.
I'm Local 21 member Jacqueline Garcia, and I work for Fred Meyer in Seattle. Article 2, right to a life outside of work. We have a right to a life outside of work, including 2 dependable days a week for ourselves, our families, for our places of worship, and our communities.
Hi everyone, my name is Matt Walters. I work for Pavilions in Laguna Beach. Article 3, right to healthcare. We have a right to an affordable healthcare plan that helps us stay well and takes care of us when we are ill.
Article 4, the right to retirement. We have the right to a dependable pension so we could go ahead and retire with dignity.
I'm Local 21 member Sherelle Claiborne, and I work at the Fred Meyer in Berrien. Article 5, right to paid sick days. We have the right to paid sick days when we are sick in order to stay at home, get well, and contribute to a healthy food supply. Nobody should choose between staying at home and caring for themselves or other family members and paying rent.
Article 6, right to job security. We have the right to protection against unjust firing, demotion, and unjust discipline.
My name is Janae Delancey. I work at Ballard Market in Seattle, Washington. Article 7, right to safe workplaces. We have the right to decent and safe working conditions. This includes basic humane treatment, including rest breaks and worker safety protections.
Hi, my name is Tacey Chambers, and I work at Albertsons in Irvine, California. Article 8, you have the right to have a voice on the job. You have a right to have a voice in the workplace when you choose to have a union without any interference from our employer.
Article 9, right to healthy food. Grocery workers and our customers have a right to safe, healthy food in stores where they work and shop.
I'm Local 21 member Sharon Wright, and I work at QFC in Seattle. Article 10, right to more hours. We have a right to a dependable number of hours of work each week, so we can predict our paychecks, manage our household budget, and be able to pay our bills.
So as workers who are keeping our communities going, we know how important our work is, and our communities also back us up. They've understood how important our work is for a long time. Many of our employers have been forced to better compensate us for the work because we demanded it together, united. As we face these new challenges in the coronavirus pandemic and come together to protect our communities, our coworkers, our families, and ourselves, we need to stand more united than ever before. So please take a moment right now, as we're coming to a close here, and go to your local union's website. We're going to put those up on the screens, ufcw21.org, ufcw770.org, ufcw324.org. For Local 7 members, you can take action right now on your Bill of Rights on your UFCW7's Facebook page, UFCW7R. So you can go to that Facebook page to sign on to the Bill of Rights. So on all those pages, you're going to find the Essential Workers Bill of Rights. You can sign on with your name, and you'll be on the founding document that's the launching point for the next stage of our campaign for fair pay and safety. There'll be more actions in the future. So now is a great time to get involved, to be there for your coworkers, and to talk to your coworkers about getting involved. If your coworkers didn't watch this tonight, you can get them to watch it, get them to go to the website, get them to go to the Facebook pages and sign on, because we all need to get involved and take action together to get what we need to be safe on the job and care for ourselves and our families. Okay, so I see those comments are still coming in, but that's a wrap for the rally for today. If you like this and would like to do more, please connect with your local union. And remember to let us know how you feel about the idea of the Bill of Rights and the drafted articles that the members just went over. I want to thank President Cordova, Grant, Zinder, and Guenther from our 4 local unions. Thanks to all the members who told their stories and brought their voices to help make this rally work. And thank you for everyone for tuning in. And go sign the Bill of Rights, talk to your coworkers, and go to your union website or that Facebook page today and sign on to that Bill of Rights. Thank you so much.